Hey you guys, what's up? I'm super excited about today's video. Today I'm going to be testing out the brand new Colourpop The Nightmare Before Christmas collection. I'm going to be creating these two eye looks for you guys. I'm going to be trying out pretty much everything that comes in the collection. I'll be doing lip swatches of the lipsticks. So I hope you guys are all excited about today's video. If you are, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So first things first, let's go ahead and do close-ups and swatches of everything that comes in this collection. So first up we have the Nightmare Before Christmas eyeshadow palette. So this is a gorgeous 12 pan eyeshadow palette that has neutrals and pops of color in it. So let's go ahead and start swatching. The first shade is called Zero. This will be like the perfect inner corner highlight. Such a gorgeous shade. Meant to Be. Dear Friend. In My Bones. Pumpkin Patch, Christmas Town, Frog's Breath, Dr. Finkelstein, What's This? Sandy Claus. Everybody Scream. And Halloween Town. So here are all of the shades in the palette. I actually think this is a beautiful color story. I love the pops of color in here. Next up we have the Trio of Terror Jelly Much Shadow Kit. And this has 3 of their Jelly Much shadows. First up we have the shade Barrel. And this one looks like a duochrome. Oh wow, that's really pretty. Next up we have the shade Shock. And this one's a very bright pink. I don't think I've ever tried these on the eyes, but I'm pretty impressed with how pigmented they are when you swatch them. And lastly, we have the shade Lock. All right, this one looks like an interesting shade, and it does have some glitter in it, and that is stunning. So there are all 3 shades of the Jelly Much eyeshadows. We also have the Master of Fright Glitterily Obsessed, which is just a gel glitter. And here's what the packaging looks like. So it just comes in a little pot, just like the Jelly Much, and it is a stunning glitter. I'm gonna do a little swatch for you guys. Look how pretty that is. Love that shade. We also have 2 shades of the BFF liquid liner. First up we have Pumpkin King. I always need a good white liquid liner, so there's that. Then we have a Scream Queen, and this one is a black. We also have 3 of their Luxe lipsticks, and how cute are these? They are like little ornaments. So first up, we have Jack Skellington, and here's what the actual lipstick looks like. And this is such a gorgeous shade. I already know I'm gonna love this one. Let's go ahead and do a swatch. Look how pretty that shade is. Next up we have Oogie Boogie. Here's the packaging, and here is the lipstick shade, another shade that I know I'm gonna love. A very pretty nude. And lastly, we have Sally. Here's the packaging, and here is the lipstick shade. So there are all 3 of the lipstick shades. I love how different they are. I feel like lately Colourpop's been having a lot of lipstick shades in collections that are very similar, and these are all definitely very different. Also in this collection we have the Detail Blending Sponge. This does feel like a pretty nice sponge. I normally like Colourpop sponges. And then we also have these individual face crystals, which look super pretty. So now let's go ahead and move on to the demo part of the video where I'm going to create these 2 eye looks for you guys, and I'm also going to be doing lip swatches of all of the lipstick shades. So I'm first going to go into the eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to pick up the shade In My Bones, and I'm just going to start stamping this kind of all along the shape that I want for my crease. I don't really ever use like gray eyeshadows, so I'm really curious whether or not I'm going to like this look. The shade does have really good pigmentation though. Now I'm going to take the shade Dear Friend, and I'm just going to put this right above the first shade. I really like this shade a lot. It's a really nice like kind of dusty mauve shade, and I'm just going to keep blending this right along the edges of the first shade just to make sure everything's like nice and diffused. You guys know I like to do reverse blending with my eyeshadow looks. Now I'm going to take Meant to Be, and I'm just going to very lightly blend this once again right above the last shade just to kind of diffuse the edges. So now I'm going to take this Jelly Much eyeshadow, and I'm going to try and cut my crease with this. I don't know how this is going to go. Normally I would use concealer, but I've always wanted to try this product, and I feel like every time I get one of these in a collection I forget to use it. So we're going to try and cut our crease with this shade. So that's actually working quite well. I'm surprised. I did not think that was going to work out. So now I'm going to take the Glitterly Obsessed, which is like a similar type of product, but obviously this one's a glitter, not just a shimmer. And I'm just gonna kind of tap some of this glitter all on top. Hopefully this like stays where I put it. So while the glitter is drying, I'm gonna go ahead and add the same shades that I used in my crease along the lower lash line. So first starting with the dark gray, I'm gonna keep that shade the closest to the lash line, and then I'm gonna kind of blend the lighter shades right below it. Now I'm going to highlight my inner corner and brow bone with the shade 0. I knew this was going to be the perfect shade for this. Alright, so here is eye look number 1 complete. It is quite different for me because I never really go for shades like this, but I do kind of like it because it is a little bit different. The lighter gray was a little tricky to blend along the outer part of my eye. I have noticed that. I feel like it's a little, I don't know, unblended, if that's even a word, no matter how many times I try and blend it. But other than that, I really like the shades that are on the lid, the Jelly Much, and then the Glitterly Obsessed. I actually really liked both of those. So now let's go ahead and move on to eye look number 2. So for this look, I'm going to start out with the shade Everybody Scream. And once again, just going to start mapping out the shape that I want for my crease. Now I'm going to take this pink shade right here. This is a very vibrant pink, and I'm just going to blend it right above the last shade. Now I'm going to take the orange. Now because this shade is also very dark, I'm going to have to very lightly pick it up and just barely start blending this above the last shade because I want to kind of diffuse this out into a lighter orange. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my crease with another Jelly Much shadow. I'm like very pleasantly surprised with how well these cut the crease. So I think I'm going to go ahead and apply 0 and then Pumpkin Patch to the lid. It does kind of have like a pink tint to it still. Then I'm going to apply Pumpkin Patch right next to it. Then I'm also going to take Christmas Town, and I'm just going to put this all over the rest of the lid. This one's pretty much like the same shade as that Jelly Much shadow. So I really want to use this shade right here because I feel like it's one of the prettiest shades in the palette. So I'm going to try and put this on the lower lash line. I'm not sure how well this is going to work with this being a shimmery shade, but we are just going to go ahead and buff this all along the lash line. This is such a gorgeous shade. Also going to go back in with 0 to highlight the inner corner and brow bone. This is like the perfect highlighting shade. It's like super bright. I love it. All right, so here are the 2 eye looks. I do like how both of them turned out. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about them when I first saw the palette because I was kind of like trying to decide what type of look I wanted to do with the palette. I was very like unsure, which normally when I see a palette, like I know what kind of look I want to do. This time was a little bit tricky with the color story, but I do like how both of these looks ended up turning out. So now the last thing we need to do is do lip swatches of all 3 of the lip shades. And I love the Colourpop Bullet lipstick formula, so I cannot wait to show you guys these. So we're gonna first start out with Jack Skellington, and this one is such a pretty shade. These are literally so creamy. Not my best lip swatch, but I am about to just take it off, so I'm not too worried about it. But here is the shade. These are so comfortable on the lips. They're very creamy. The pigmentation is amazing. So here's the first shade. Next up, we have the shade Sally, which is that gorgeous bright pink. This shade is definitely out of my comfort zone for sure. I don't know what's going on today, but I just like cannot seem to do lip swatches today. Oh my goodness. But here is this shade. It's a really pretty pink. It's like a Barbie type of pink, but it's definitely not a shade that I would wear. And lastly, we have Oogie Boogie, which is a nude. All right, so here is this shade. I love it. It is a really pretty nude. I feel like a lot of people will really like this shade, so yeah. So the only things that we didn't try out today are the sponge. I already know I love the Colourpop sponges like this. They are really good. And then, of course, the BFF liquid liners are amazing. I already have both the black and the white, and I love them. So yeah, overall, another good collection from Colourpop. I know a lot of people were like super excited about this collection, and then a lot of people were like mad about what they are releasing with this collection, and I totally get it. Colourpop comes out with so many launches. It's really hard to keep up, and it is really overwhelming sometimes too. I actually love that they come out with a lot of stuff, but sometimes it can be like just too much. This collection I wasn't like overly excited about because honestly I've never even seen this movie before. I know that'll probably be shocking to a lot of you guys, but I do really like the collection. I think that the eyeshadow palette has a really beautiful color story. I feel like this is definitely different for them. I feel like this color story was a little bit more exciting than like the newer Hocus Pocus palette that they came out with, and I love the packaging of this. I think it's so cute. I love it's a 12 pan palette, and it does feel very heavy. It feels pretty expensive, especially for an affordable palette. And then I also love the lipsticks. The formula of these are amazing. The red and the nude shade are definitely the best out of the collection. I was actually really surprised with how much I liked the Jelly Much shadows. I never used this type of product, but it was really good. And then surprisingly, the Glitterly Obsessed has not transferred anywhere up into my crease, so I was pretty shocked with that as well. I never try out these products like when they come in other collections, but today I wanted to use them and I really liked them a lot. So yeah, there was nothing in this collection that I didn't really like. The only thing that I could have done without was the bright pink lipstick, but everything else I thought was really well done. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this collection in the comments down below. Are you guys going to be picking it up? I would love to hear your thoughts. So I hope today's video was helpful for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Also, make sure you have your notifications turned on. That way you don't miss out on any of my future videos. All you have to do is click the bell next to the subscribe button, and then you'll receive a notification every time I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching.